Hello everyone, my name is Binks and welcome back to Let's Play A Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where we are continuing in the second case of the game, The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. And the last episode was crazy. It made me so mad. I was raging. I was threatening to throw people out windows left and right because they're really making me mad. Especially Van Zeeks and Shamspear. They're jerks, man. They're terrible people. Natsume's just annoying. But those two, man, those two, they really make me mad. They really, really, really make me mad. I'm just so frustrated. And it's like, dude, dude, you know? But anyway, let's continue on. Uh, yeah, so we're gonna do summation, examination again. Jurors, you're, you're stupid. I'm a man of logic, me. And having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid pain.
Girl, that... Why would you say that? That has nothing to do... I mean, he's a fraud, which is bad, okay? That has nothing to do with the whole poisoning thing, though. Like... What, you're just sympathizing with him? And that's why you saying Natsume's guilty? Like, come on now. So they're just talking about the gas rather than talking about the whole poisoning? They're really obsessed with the gas thing. Okay. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Yes, it is. I'm glad you're bringing that up, though, because we do need to finally come around to the fact that, like, what I've been saying and what we know, what we, the audience, know, we know that the gas is the problem here. That we're pretty sure that the gas is what caused everything.
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
Sir? You do mention your wife a lot, like you're kind of scared of her. I'm kind of worried about you. Are you going to be a victim in a future case? I'm kind of scared. You okay there, buddy?
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Thank you. You're the only one who's actually kind of mentioning the heart of the matter.
I do feel that Bob's personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat.
Yeah, that's what they're focused on more than anything right now.
But never mind. No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspear was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around? They're so distracted.
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspear was actually poisoned.
Yep, it's about time. We have to do it now.
Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly,
Which is kind of unfair that it comes down to us, but it is what it is. Doing the detectives' jobs for them, as usual.
But that's all surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will
Be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Cute freaking little mouse. I love this outfit. The only outfit I actually don't like is Sherlock's, believe it or not. I don't mind that it's Japanese style, but it just doesn't look that great compared to his and Susato's. I don't know. You're a man of logic. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This seems important to me. I totally agree, and I want to see what else we can get out of this, so... You seem to know stuff about gas. Do you know anything else?
Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. I hate poison, but sure.
You take poison?
What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room.
Ah! You're right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Young lawyer man.
Yes.
You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. Come work for me, boy.
She's kind of looking a little flirty at him, like, oh my.
Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure.
Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. You haven't? Wait. I can't go back? I thought I could go back. Yes. Huh. That was weird. Okay.
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you haven't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings.
Well, unfortunately, I think that is how this happened, and I do think that is how the young man died before, so unfortunately, I think you're gonna hear even worse things very soon, ma'am. I'm very sorry.
What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that?
Actually, that is a murder method I was hoping would be utilized again soon. Because it only happened once so far in the games with Jalia Hawthorne. Yeah. It was an interesting one. But it's been a while, and I'm like, yeah, let's see some sparks, eh? Some sparks, some fire. Give me some juicy murder. Binks, what's wrong with you? I'm tired of poison, okay? Poisons and bludgeonings are so boring. Give me some action. I'm so... Oh, Binks, what's wrong with you? I'm becoming like Monokuma. Oh no! No! I'm terrible.
A little explosion here and there's nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on our daily basis, you know?
More devious? Oh, madam.
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas! How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the households supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing.
Yeah, that's bad.
They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from our meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these...
Ah, that explains that. That's why he's reacting.
We always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
Alright, let's look around. This hasn't happened in a while. Pursue.
Excuse me.
He looks so weird.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself.
I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see?
Go on.
An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did?
I'm, afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean...
That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out! Along with the stove! Gas started pouring into the house.
Oh, no wonder you're so freaked out. Wait, so Are they able to access the pipes that easily? How easy can they access it? Is it something like behind a wall? Is there like a panel? I'm wondering if it's something just anybody can access, because if that's the case... Lights flickering, stove, gas pouring into the house if you blow too hard. You guys, I think this is the murder method. If somebody knows about this, and you could do that to affect the whole house? But why hasn't it... Oh, wait. I was about to say, why hasn't it affected Mr. Garradeb? But didn't he mention that... Because they have a fireplace in his particular room, right? His apartment. He was like, oh, we don't utilize the gas here. Like, he doesn't need the meters for him or whatever. So it's only for his tenants' apartments. Otherwise, it would have affected him and his wife. Oh my god, I think that's how they did it. So it has to be somebody who did it who knows how to do that? That's still weird. So a gas employee? Ugh, I'm just still kind of like, I don't know.
What a disaster.
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. Yep.
Simply disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed...
Disconnecting a lamp. So, okay, that answers my question. So if you don't even need access directly to like a pipe per se, you can just disconnect the lamp and blow into exposed gas pipe? Oh my god, it's that easy? Damn. Anybody could do that. Was it Shamspear himself? No, then... Who the hell did it to Shamspear then? I'm so confused. I'm so confused on who did this to Shamspear. Like, I could see Shamspear doing it to the other guy who died. But then who did it to Shamspear? Oh. I'm so lost. I'm confused. I don't know.
Blowing into the exposed gas pipe. It's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind.
Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying...
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
Very well, juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Okay. I don't know what we're gonna use this against. Let's press on this.
You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now.
This is most troubling indeed.
There's always days like this one, when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it. My wife.
She literally is trying to kill you. That's why you're always desperate to get out of here.
She gets that devilish look on her face, and she sips some white powder into my cup.
And you drink it anyway?
I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it.
And what happened to you? What did it taste like?
It was god awful. Believe you me. Salty as hell.
Doesn't that mean she accidentally put salt instead of sugar?
Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable.
She's just doing that to torment you or be an accident, maybe? Or no, probably just to punish you. Probably just to punish you. Because she made a face, right? So, ew. Wow, okay.
Let's move on, please.
That's funny. Nothing else past the victim's lips. Well, he might have, he couldn't have blown, did he? But why would he? Did he accidentally poison himself by doing that? Is that what they're saying? That's what I originally thought. Did he poison himself on accident? But I thought he was doing that to Natsume. How could he have done it to himself? That's why I'm confused. How does that happen? Like, when he does that, all this time he's been able to somehow target Natsume only? But for some reason it affected him that night?
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning?
Huh? Sorry? What's that now?
I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on that night.
What's the matter with you?
Sorry.
I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all?
I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose the trouble is...
He has selective hearing.
Exactly, but still... This juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we desperately need. This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which he was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh? Like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people... Okay, I get it. No, I got it.
Once again, Sasaki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer.
No need.
Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible.
Of course, I'm sure you're right. If you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you only need to ask.
Okay. I think it's this one. I think nothing else passed. It has to be this one.
Objection!
Because technically that's passing the lips, right?
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious, to whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
Eh? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there?
I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time. But the mouth of a gas pipe. Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
Oh, so he thinks... Oh. I see. He thinks that someone put poison on the mouthpiece itself because they knew that he's been blowing into it to do the messing up with the gas to try and kill Saseki? Who would do that? Mr. Garrett? Did Mr. Garrett figure it out and try to kill him? That's the only person I could think of. He put two and two together and he's like, you were the one who's been killing, like you killed my previous tenant. Holy crap. Oh, that's kind of sad, the thought of that, right? Like the two Garradebs both ending up in prison. First the wife and then the husband. Hmm. That'd be interesting. Hold it. Oh.
What a piece of work is a man.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare?
What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir.
I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room.
Oh, because they did say for sure that he was poisoned with strychnine. That's what they're saying. Right? I did forget about that. Is there like a medical... I never got to see. Here it is. Yeah, ingestion of strychnine. I forgot about that. For some reason, I kind of was forgetting and just thinking that the strychnine itself was like just part of the gas, but no. So the gas itself didn't poison him. I did forget about that. Sorry guys, all this time I kept thinking, oh, was it the gas itself that poisoned him? That's what I've been kind of forgetting. And I've been confusing myself. So that helps me a lot. So it's not that he poisoned himself first. Well, he did. But he was trying to kill Natsume like he's been trying to, I guess. But somebody tried to kill him by putting strychnine on the mouthpiece. Got it. Got it. Okay. Thanks. how could you forget about the strychnine? Ugh, I'm stupid. Such a small little detail like that, and it just like, I don't know why my brain like ignored it or didn't latch onto it. Duh. Okay. Got it now. I understand. The only other person with a motive, other than Gyaradev, the only two people really with a motive to kill him, other than Gyaradev and Olive. Those are the only two people. But the one with the most access, who would be able to figure it out probably would be Gyaradev. It would make sense. Only thing that, you know, the only thing that's throwing me off, you guys, with Gyaradev, how desperately he tried to save him, right? Like, they broke into the room to, like, what was it, 5 a.m., 5:30 or whatever, when they didn't hear him getting up. Like, he was worried about him. So that's the only thing that's making me like, that's not the way someone acts if they want to kill someone. So it feels more like Olive? But she acts more like a bullied victim. Not someone who... she said she wanted him to die. And her trying to kill herself could also have been out of guilt, too. It could be Olive. And she was on her way there. I don't know. And we do see the piece of the envelope. So that means that he did send her, like, a letter or whatever. And he was kind of bullying her. Bothering her in the room. I don't know. It's really kind of between those two. It could be somebody else but I really don't see a gas company people doing it. Yeah. Alright. It all is like really fitting in my head more now. Now that I'm kind of understanding what the strychnine, now the murder method and all that makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, I got it. Alright. Wall lamp. Yeah.
And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord.
Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Oh, as a gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas?
Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him,
For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture.
Isn't he supposed to stay quiet?
To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall.
No, we saw he has like a thing he steps on.
In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions.
2 in a row? Bro, calm down.
There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare had been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall.
Yeah. The handprint stuff with the... Yes, now it makes perfect sense. Why... okay. That's why he has all those handprints on the wall. And why he kept standing up there.
So that's where he went up to do it? Oh, that's so weird. How many times he kept going up there to try and kill Natsume. Oh, that's so creepy. That's really creepy. That freaks the hell out of me now, looking at that. Attempted murder.
Yeesh.
I have evidence to prove it.
Alright, you've got our attention, lad. Like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp.
Take that!
What the?
These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found on the scene. Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord.
Oh, wrong voice.
My lord. This is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspear touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it?
Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Holmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspear also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of...
In front of... Oh!
I don't believe it. The gas lamp.
Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspear has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Right. What have you been up to, you nut?
Mm-hmm. Get him, you guys. Come on now.
I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement.
What? Me now?
When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey.
Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
No, there should be reports. Because Garadeb had reported it and what happened to his previous tenants should be on file. There should be enough proof. Come on now. Shut up. No, you shut up, Van Zeeks. We're gonna get him. Get out of my way.
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast to my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord von Zeeks? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense. The so-called skin prints.
Oh, shit. He's gonna try to say it's not admissible. You... He really is a jerk.
So-called skin prints. Clearly, they cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Holmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
Damn it.
But
Please, my lord, if I may.
Mrs. Sato,
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wished to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah, that's true. This is during a summation examination. Aha! Nice, Susato, nice. It's true that we are talking to the jury.
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen.
Ooh, she's good. You go, Susato.
I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
You go, girl.
Hold it! You're right! Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Not you, Van Ziek. Screw you!
juror number 3.
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Screw you, Van Zieks.
Yay! We need one more.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Yeah, 'cause you're all about evidence, I know.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait! You heard his lordship. It's not fair. Evidence.
Oh, well done, Mr. Nadahodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mrs. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
We coming for you. We coming for you. We coming for you. I'm gonna bend that shit over your head. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Ooh. Oh. I'm gonna get you. Yeah. Now who's the stoop back little There's nothing I enjoy more than seeing them fall apart.
Why, Mr. Shamspear, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Nadahodo. You can do it.
Very well. Continue, counsel.
I wonder if, like, deep down inside, the judge is like,
Yeah, go! Go, Naruhodo, go!
I'm a man of logic. And having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
okay, let's come after him now. Because now that we had some evidence, come on, man. I didn't press on him before, but now that I'm like... now that I had an evidence, even if it's not Legal evidence?
All the evidence you say.
That's right. There's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at the Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that?
What your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Oh, people have fireworks already. It's almost Memorial Day, so that's why.
Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides,
Yes?
even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh.
If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
What?
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait.
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question?
I
don't have evidence.
I saw testimony. Can't we just have Natsume's say what he's been through? Because that's what came to my mind. Everything he's been through, right? I don't see any evidence. I think testimony. I think testimony.
No. In truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that? Testimony.
This is incredible! Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garadev residence that night, namely,
Yeah.
Take that!
obviously, I'm talking about the defendant.
Wow. Here we go. Fireworks. Sorry. Recording at nighttime. I'm almost done with the episode. And then I'm gonna stop because they're gonna be doing that all night. Oh, another sleepless night. Here I come. Oh. It's gonna be rough.
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Saseki Natsume himself.
The defendant?
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following.
My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me.
Yeah, he did say that.
On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly!
So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? I heard your horse is there. What would you do that for?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Foreman,
What is it, man?
we cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet, however. You must surely agree that there is more to this case than meets the eye.
Ugh.
Come on. You've already seen us work our magic before, so you should know by now.
Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost.
Thank you.
That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. You've overturned the decision. I'm just saving you time of saying it. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated and stolen my words, summation examination, yeah. 2 jury members now called guilty for blah blah blah.
Continuation. Got it.
Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee?
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tidy mess of all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been solid enough already, juror number 5. Who, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. Ugh. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time an established conjecture. You would all do well to remember that. Ah,
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there,
Objection!
You're not even gonna bother? You don't even care? You're just gonna let a guilty man walk away? Because you're a racist piece of garbage?
what appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required.
yes.
Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible.
Okay, he has a point. Their technology back then, the analysis and all that, just couldn't handle it. Ah.
Ugh, I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived?
Well, you have to bring up the past now. Selden and all of that.
There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Order, order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler, now we've unraveled the mystery thus far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of
Take that!
Saseki.
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
I live around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time.
That's so crazy to me. That back then that they were sleeping with their gas stove lit?
For warmth. That's really crazy. Like, when it gets really, really cold, we, in this house, like those days, I don't know if you guys remember the beginning of this LP, we had no heat because of our electricity problem. Like, we sometimes had to turn on our stove to boil a pot of water to try and warm up the kitchen. So that was like the extent of us using our stove to warm up the house or warm up a room. But we wouldn't just turn on a stove like what they're doing. We would turn it on to boil water to cause some, you know, some warming up. But even then, you know, you're letting fumes and gas and all of that. It's risky. It's scary. That's crazy. Oof. And even then, sometimes I would tell her, I would be like, I would be a little bit, even though it's scary, any time you have to deal with fire, I'm like, I would rather light some candles, you know, and have them in a safe area and make sure you keep an eye on it. And I would have like a few big candles, keep an eye on them, and have those for warmth, then use the stove. But we didn't do that. I would rather use candles. Because candles are scary too. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
Mr. Gyarados, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspear was trying to end. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Good gracious! Oh my god, this case has so many crazy twists and turns.
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here.
What? How can you still claim that? Dude, what the hell?
I mean, yes, this guy did end up being poisoned. Unfortunately, that is true.
Let us indulge our fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there?
He's right.
Who did put it there?
The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill.
Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison?
So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspear's murderous designs?
Ah, you mean to suggest?
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known.
What?
In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was clearly a retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Saseki Natsume.
This is like a volleyball game. Keeps going back and forth. Like, damn.
Whatever Mr. William Shamspear may or may not have contrived to do,
He was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that the clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend?
Yeah, you kinda, yeah. Now we're actually in a really bad spot. How are we gonna circle back? We have to talk about the past. We have to bring up Selden and Olive and all of that. Dang nabbit. Ugh! How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly?
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
Hurry. I want to end the episode.
What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. And we already know who it could be. And I really, really, really don't think it's Gyarados. I think it's Olive, you guys.
You mean, name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind.
Actually, two.
Looking at this...
No, I don't have anything else. This alone tells me it has to be Olive. Right? I feel like it points more towards Olive than Gyarados. Even though it does feel like it could have been Gyarados, I feel like it has to be Olive. And it's interesting because of what happened to her. Oh.
Is it Gyarados or Olive?
I feel like it has to be Olive. Like, all of the, like, as someone who reads a lot, and as, like, someone who wants to be a writer and writes stories in my head all the time, and, you know, who writes fanfic and my own stuff. If I was a writer, yeah, I feel like Olive makes total sense. All the flags are there. And it's sad. It's really sad. Okay, it has to be her. The evidence. The poison. It's all pointing to a particular person now.
The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Don't you worry, we know exactly...
Yeah, stop them.
There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit.
A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already. I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax.
Thank you.
Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is this so-called true culprit of this crime?
It's Sherlock Holmes.
She's so young. She's only 20. Oh, Olive. Oh, you've had it so rough, Olive. I'm so sorry. Oh, I hate accusing you. Oh, I hate this.
Take that!
Yep. The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where.
Miss Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago.
Yep.
The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add.
Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspear's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi.
True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital, unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison!
Yep.
And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspear.
My lord, pray, what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, never heard of her.
Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspear's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least not by name. Really? So he only knew her by face? Interesting.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nipponese friend's farce through to its conclusion.
I appreciate that.
The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here.
Yes, Miss Olive Green.
Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
Very well. I grant the request. Excellent. I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
Alright, finally. To be continued. Please? Yeah, alright, thought so. Whew, it's a long one. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Finally I can end this one. Haven't had a long one in a long time, but this is it. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a nice day.
Bye-bye.